Okay. Good day. I want to
Hello.
welcome you once again to my Better Living Conversations. And today I have the honor and pleasure of interviewing the Reverend Yanick Douyon. And Reverend Yanick, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Very glad to be here.
Yes, thank you for saying yes. First, I want you to just introduce yourself to our audience. Just give us a little background on who you are.
Okay. My name, as you said, Yanick Douyon. I am a person who is a member of the UTC family. I've been a member of the UTC family for a whole bunch of years. I'm thinking like 30-ish.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And UTC has been a biggie, a real
Yes.
biggie in my life. It really kind of put a new perspective on things for me. My life continued as it was before. I was teaching in Dade County schools for many years.
Mm-hmm.
That continued, but with a shift.
Okay.
New thought has definitely caused a shift in my life, and to believe that things are okay.
Yes.
Pandemic, whatever situations come up, that has been a very big part of a new mindset.
Great. So you mentioned you are a teacher, and you are an ordained minister in the Universal Foundation for Better Living. So
Mhm.
tell us, how did your path lead you to become a minister and a teacher?
I began going to UTC and began taking classes because I'm, as a teacher, big believer in education and wanted to understand more and more. And at one point, I was moving forward in the classes just for my own personal growth. And Reverend Mary said that she had been appointed as the head of UFBL.
Right.
And something just rose up in me and said, Mary's going to be busy. Mary needs support. And I'm trained as a teacher, and I love teaching.
Okay.
So I needed to step up.
So,
And
Yanick, hold on a minute. Tell us how you really feel about teaching, okay? I mean, you're just a little too subdued with,
I have told students that if they cut me open, they're going to see teacher written on my bones.
Okay. That's great.
I truly feel that I just come alive when I have the opportunity to teach. That I
understand.
Want to see people learn and want to see them get that spark in their eyes.
Okay.
Whatever it is they're learning.
Correct.
So when Mary was becoming head of UFBL and I felt UTC needed more support, I thought, okay, I can become a UFBL teacher and provide support there.
Okay.
So I followed that process.
Great. And you're doing a wonderful job, I'm telling you. So tell us, what subjects do you teach in the educational field?
Multiple.
Okay.
Most of my career was as a social studies teacher. But I pivoted from that. I've also taught French, but that was simply because French is my first language. English is my better language.
Okay.
French is my first language.
Gotcha. Okay.
So mostly social studies, some French. And then I began doing a lot of adult education, teaching English as a second language, teaching basic skills to adults, GED classes for those who wanted high school diploma, things like that. So spreading out into other branches.
Okay, great. So you recently have done some international travels where you taught on the international level. Please share with us your experience. Where has it taken you?
I say that I was teaching in public schools and very happy there in the teaching. The paperwork and the red tape of teaching was bogging me down.
Gotcha.
My youngest child graduated from college, so then I grew wings.
Okay, gotcha.
I grew wings and decided to go international.
Okay.
by now I have taught in 10 different countries.
Wow. Can you share what some of those countries have been?
US, of course, is first.
Right.
I've taught in Haiti, El Salvador, Senegal, China, Rwanda, Liberia, Mauritania, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Vietnam, and I may be missing one.
Okay. So tell me something. Which one has been your favorite place to teach?
Rwanda, hands down, Rwanda.
Okay, why is that?
The people of Rwanda are absolutely fantastic.
All right.
Better than 20 years ago, it's 25 years ago now, Rwanda had a horrific genocide.
Yes.
And that is what people remember of Rwanda. But when I visited Rwanda, what impressed me was the spirit of the people, spirit of forgiveness.
Okay. Cool.
Of those who caused the genocide, and the idea that, okay, this has happened, we cannot change the past. What do we do now? How do we move forward? Which is very much in keeping with New Thought teaching.
It is.
The connection of those two that has made Rwanda so special in my heart.
Cool. So what did you teach there while you were there?
In most of the countries, I have taught English as a second language and done teacher training. Great.
Cool. So we recently had you to do a workshop for UTC on the importance of voting. And I'm telling you, I could tell you really loved it. I mean, it was a fantastic workshop. I mean, the teacher in you really came out. So please give us a brief overview of what you shared with us on that day.
Well, as a social studies teacher, I did U.S. history more than anything else, government and civics classes. So in the process of teaching those, it strengthened in me the belief in the U.S. government system, in voting, in voter participation, in being an active part as an individual, a part of the collective consciousness. So my thoughts were to bring that forward, to show what the system is about, how the system has functioned, and then to kind of shake people up to not take things for granted. Because there have been many times historically that people were denied the right to vote when there has been suppression of voting, particularly of minorities. Blacks, of course, very important. Native Americans, women. This is the 100th year anniversary that women got the right to vote in this country. So the belief that we need to step up and make sure we are involved.
Gotcha. Yeah. And we're currently in a voting year, especially for the highest office in this country. Please share with us, just expand upon that. Why is it important to vote? But especially this year, what's at stake as far as us either voting or not voting?
Yeah, and if you don't vote, there are consequences.
Yes.
It's sort of like going from the top down. The highest is, of course, the president. And the president's impact, the president is not a dictator, is not an emperor or empress.
Please.
So there's some limit to what the person can do in the office, but there are repercussions that last long beyond the time a person is president. Laws have been passed and have been put into practice by the president. Continue.
Yes.
Judges who are appointed, federal judges are appointed for life.
Yes.
And we see judges who are serving into their 70s, 80s, and don't have to leave. So we allow people to sort of lock down those positions. The repercussions are going to last a very long time. Correct. So the voting is not simply for 1 year. Voting has long range effects.
Mm-hmm.
And other than president, the other offices make a big difference. We vote for those who are making the laws in national government and in state and local governments.
Right.
And those touch our lives every single day.
Yes.
I mean, when we see trash not picked up,
Right.
how that affects us. Those things that seem small, but it affects our lives every day.
It does.
We're in this pandemic, and whether or not schools are open, whether or not people are required to wear masks in public, all of those things are impacting our lives.
They are. And you mentioned something about the federal judges, which is very, very key and important. Share with us, what impact can federal judges have on our lives, long term, short term?
I'm smiling because the first thought that came to my mind is that in 2000, we all, I'm sure, remember.
Yes.
The person who was president was decided by one vote.
Yes.
On the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And the Supreme Court was split. If one person had shifted from deciding who would be in office to the other way, we would have had a whole different president. We would have had a whole different 8 years.
Correct. Yes. So true.
So that's how much the judges count. And it was not a clear-cut, open and shut case.
No.
The decision was by one vote.
It was, yeah. Right here because of what happened in the state of Florida.
Yes. Florida.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, the late night comedians enjoy Florida.
Yes. Now, I want to ask you a question, because you've been to other countries and you've seen other countries' political system. How does ours compare to other countries' political systems? And why do we not take this for granted, what we have over here? Yes.
Things are very subtle in other countries. People don't speak out. When you have conversations with people, they kind of make sure nobody else is listening if they're discussing certain things, no matter how open things seem to be. There's nowhere that is as open as in the United States. People don't speak their mind in the same way. People don't have choices in the same way. So on that very low level, and even the way people treat their officials. I've been watching the Democratic Convention that has been on the last couple of days.
Yes.
The openness with which average citizens participate, that average citizens speak of what they need. It doesn't happen anywhere else.
Okay. And we have a tendency to take that for granted over here.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Soon it's always going to be. It has not always been, so we don't know if it will always be. Correct.
And what we have over here as far as democracy and the Constitution and so forth, it really depends upon the people, we the people. Is that not right?
Absolutely, we the people.
Yeah. So given the current political climate, to making it difficult, because you mentioned voter suppression earlier, and this year we got COVID, we got obvious and not so obvious attempts to obstruct the vote. What are some things that we can do as average, everyday citizens to ensure and secure our vote?
First, we got to be informed. We've got to know what's going on, who is running, what the issues are, when we will be voting, where we will be voting, to make sure that as an individual, I can do what I want to do.
Okay.
And some of the things that are true in almost everywhere in the U.S. is that you can vote by mail.
Right.
But there are threats that have been mentioned about voting by mail. So do what you got to do to make that happen in a secure or protected way. Vote early. Request your mail-in if you have not requested it. And in this day and age, you request it in person, you request it by phone, you request it online. So make sure you request it early.
Yes.
That when you receive it, you return it quickly.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that, and then you can track it. You can track,
Mhm.
was it received? So that you don't have to go in person if you're concerned about voting.
Mhm.
Anyone who does feel that voting in person is more important, protect yourself when you go to vote.
Mhm.
Maybe find out what are the hours that there are fewer people when you can go. Voting tends to be more congested early in the morning and late in the evening.
Right.
So choose where in there will work for you.
Correct.
So doing all of your part to vote and then getting other people,
Yes.
your
Yes.
friends, your family, your neighbors, your Facebook connections,
Right.
wherever you're connected, be engaged.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's the people who don't vote who allow other people to make the decisions and put the officials in power.
Correct. Correct. And I don't know if you can answer this or not, but what are some of the possible consequences if the current administration is allowed to stay in office because of a lack of voting? What
It
just
defies the imagination
yes,
because things that have happened we would not have predicted before the administration came into office.
correct.
Nobody would have said that there would be a threat of not allowing people to vote, of reducing the postal service to thwart voting.
Mm-hmm.
Who could have guessed?
Yes, yes,
You know,
yes.
so
I
the
got you.
thing that could happen that, and I think that it's not only for ourselves. As I've said, I love being in an international setting.
Mm-hmm.
The United States is so important. The United States culture and power and impact reaches everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the power to influence it for those who don't even have the power, but will be influenced.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
So we
I
got to think
got you.
beyond ourselves, beyond our own personal benefits.
Right. Gotcha. Gotcha. So as we get ready to close this out, any parting words of wisdom you want to share with us as far as the importance of voting, the importance of being informed, um, and just the importance of maybe even putting your religion and your spirituality into action in the political sphere. Any words of wisdom?
I saw a Facebook posting recently that I liked so much I forwarded, and it said that voting is not getting married. It's not a lifetime commitment.
Okay.
Voting is using public transportation.
Okay.
It might not be taking you exactly where you want to go, but
Mm-hmm.
you go to whatever is closest.
Gotcha.
You don't have the perfect candidate who aligns with you 100% on every single thing. You
Right.
go with what's most important. You
Gotcha.
go with the big issues.
Gotcha.
So there are people who have difficulties with a candidate for certain issues. In this country, sometimes the issues have to do with the rights of those who are gay. That has to do with rights for abortion. It has to do with immigration. There are hundreds of issues
Mm-hmm.
that come up. So don't let one block you.
Right. Gotcha.
Choose the overall best.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even agree that you're voting for the least bad.
Yeah.
I think you're voting for the greater good.
Gotcha.
Not the bad, not the perfect, but the
Gotcha.
greater good.
The greater good.
The
Yes.
greater
Yes.
good. And I like keeping my mindset positive
Mm-hmm.
and not thinking I'm voting for what's not going to be so horrible. I'm
Gotcha.
voting for the greater good.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So in voting, look at that. What for you is going to be the greater good for your family, your community, and we are part of a world community.
Amen. Amen.
So consider that in voting. Make yourself ready to vote, informed. We've got resources that people in the past could not have had access to.
Mm-hmm.
For who, when, what, where, why, how.
Okay.
Whatever you need, find out.
Yes.
You can probably call a friend if you're not sure and don't even have to do very much digging to get information. You know who your friends are who keep up with things.
Gotcha.
Find out what to do, where to go. Make sure you are ready. Make sure
Okay.
you are ready. And then
Okay.
encourage others.
Gotcha.
Encourage others to do the right thing and to take care of this responsibility. It is a
Amen.
responsibility.
Amen. It is. It is a responsibility that we all have as citizens of this great country. We
Every
can't take it
right
for
has a
granted.
responsibility.
Yeah. We
Because
can't
we
take
have
it
the
for
right
granted.
to vote, it is a responsibility.
It is. It is. Great. And Yanick, you know, this just came to me, but I'm going to have you do a top 10 list of the importance of voting that we could put on our website.
Good idea. Yes,
Okay.
I'll kind of work in
Okay.
the ideas for that. Great.
Okay. Great. Make a note of that, and I will come back to you for that. But
I will be working on it to get something ready.
thank you.
And then, of course, other people may, influence exactly how that list looks.
Yes. Great. So I want to thank the Reverend Yanick Douyon for this conversation on the importance of voting. And we want to encourage you. We don't tell you who to vote for, but we do tell you to exercise your rights and your responsibilities as a citizen of this country to vote. Your voice has to be heard. No vote, then there are consequences. Voting, there's consequences. You got to choose which consequences that you desire. So vote. So Reverend Yanick, thank you very much. Have a great day. Peace and blessings. Namaste.